Good evening, YouTube viewers and subscribers. Before we get to tonight's video, I want to take a few moments to give all of my subscribers and viewers a warm-hearted thank you for subscribing and viewing my videos. Because without your support, many of these videos wouldn't be possible to make. With that said, I don't know too many of you personally, and I really haven't met too many of you face-to-face, but there are those that I do correspond with on a regular basis, either via email or the telephone, and I like to consider them my friends. So, with that said, it kind of leads me into tonight's video subjects, which is, there are those viewers or subscribers of mine that are so loyal and trusting that they actually send me their own products for me to view, test, and make videos of, and that's kind of what part of tonight is about. Tonight is going to be a combo video where I'm going to discuss exactly just that. A viewer or subscriber actually sent me something of his for me to test. So let's get over to the bench and let's take a look at these things. Okay, so now that we're at my bench, we can talk about this combination video that we're going to do tonight. As I mentioned, there are times when subscribers will actually send me some of their own items for me to evaluate, test, or just make videos of just for the heck of it. Tonight is one of those occasions. Those of you that regularly watch my channel will know that I have a Super Tiger S3000 engine. And now that's a large two-stroke blow engine. Now I've got an awesome subscriber that trusts me enough that he sent me an email and said, hey, you know what? I've got this Davis diesel head for his Super Tiger 3000 engine that he hasn't used yet. And he doesn't really have any plans on using it till maybe the fall. So he said, how about if I send this to you so you can put it on your engine and give it a try? And I said, that would be wonderful. So what I've got here is a Davis diesel head that I'm going to fit to my Super Tiger S3000 engine. Now it looks like he's sent all the paperwork that came with this also. Davis diesel power. Now the one comment I would have to make is the paperwork that comes with this is really not that impressive. I mean, this is probably a pretty impressive piece, and I've read some things about the fellow that actually runs Davis diesel power, and I've read some not so pleasant things about him. But if this is an example of what the documentation comes with, it's just photocopied, and I'm certain this is probably actually what came from him. Photocopied, very small print, hard to read. Not too impressive for the cost of one of these heads. Now when I was doing my 40 FP diesel conversion, I looked at the Davis diesel head and saw the price, and luckily for me I opted to actually go with the Mikoa head, which was half the price and came with much better documentation. But anyway, this head looks nice. It's going to be fun. I'm probably going to take it out this weekend and install it. It actually looks like it's got a number engraved into it too. So maybe these are all engraved as to with a serial number. But anyway, this is the Davis diesel head. That's part one of our combination video. So look for that Super Tiger engine to be running with that head here in the next few weeks or so. Hopefully this week. The next thing I have here is this. Now, a really good friend of mine and subscriber, fellow I've done a lot of business with in the past, stumbled across this deal on RC Groups. This is a Saito, even though the little placard's missing. This is a Saito FA180 four-stroke engine. Now, this fellow of mine, this friend of mine, he managed to negotiate a pretty damn good price for this, and as soon as he negotiated the deal, he called me and asked me, you know, hey, are you interested in this thing? I managed to get it for this price. I've already got one. Don't really need it, but I figured maybe I'd ask you and see if you wanted it. And I said, you know what, for that price, I'll take a chance on it. So, he paid for it and had this engine shipped straight to me. Now I've got to pay him, which I'm probably going to do tonight. But this is just a quick look at this Saito FA180 engine. Now I have kind of briefly looked at this. I haven't loosened anything on it as yet, but there are a couple things I've noted initially already, and that is that it needs some TLC. I think for the price, if I can get this thing running, I think for the price it'll be a good deal. I'm not going to mention the price because who knows, I may turn right around and sell this thing after I'm done cleaning it up and doing some things to it. Now the first thing I noticed, even in the pictures online, was that it doesn't look like this was ever stored in a climate controlled environment, because there seems to be some environmental wear and tear on it. These rocker covers have the beginning of some pitting going on there. They look okay from a distance, but once you get up close you can see it, the chrome plating is bubbling up on them. So that's one thing. First thing I did when I grabbed it was I went to rotate it over, and it's got great compression. But I mean, I can feel right away this front bearing is toast. I mean, it just doesn't even feel right, it just kind of flops. So I obviously know this is going to be a complete teardown for me, which is not a problem. This spinner nut thing, it's got two washers here, which I'm not really quite sure I understand that. Spinner nuts, oh, it looks like it's kind of an integrated thing here. I'm not sure that's normal. I think this will come out. Anyway, these have got to be replaced. Let me zoom in a little bit here. This thing is just gnarly looking, rounded off, and just plain nasty. I'm not really quite sure I understand. I don't know. I've never had a Saito 180 before, so this will be the largest Saito engine I've ever owned. I'm not sure why this washer thing here seems to be embedded in this nut. I don't know if that's normal or not. So those are going to have to be replaced. So we already know that needs to be replaced. Front bearing, at least, probably both bearings are going to need to be replaced. I noticed it's got the Venturi stack here, or the Velocity stack, I'm sorry. Throttle moves freely, but it's missing the choke slide. So obviously this isn't going to seal. I don't think this is going to seal properly right now. I might have a slide in there. I don't really want to take the Velocity stack off because I know that's a pretty important part of these larger engines. On the smaller Saitos I always remove that. I never use that. But I think on this one it's going to be important. So I'm going to have to see if this actually seals without this on there, if that Teflon washer or whatever is in there. Looks like the fasteners look like they're in decent shape. Like I said, it's got good compression. Needle moves freely. So this engine is it needs some TLC. Without a doubt, this engine needs some TLC. So this thing will be something I'll be running here in the next couple weeks also. To me, it kind of looks like maybe this has been opened up before. I see the beginning, the front, or the timing gear gasket here. It looks like it's broken out. Like maybe it was overlapped or overhanging and just got chipped out, or I don't know if it's broken underneath there or not. But either way, this will be a complete teardown. The only other thing I've got to discuss tonight, and I don't have my engine out here, actually I can grab it real quick. I previously mentioned my 40FP engine that I did the diesel conversion on. Well, another really good friend of mine, I asked him if he happened to have a carb for a OSFP 20 engine, and he did, and he sent it to me. One of the viewers or subscribers, when I was doing this, said, you know what, with a diesel like this you might actually want to try going with a smaller opening in the carb. So I was like, okay, I was thinking about it. I mean, the thing ran fine with the 40FP carb, but I figured, hey, if I could get my hands on an FP20 carb, all the better. So this fellow sent me his carb, said hang on to it as long as you need it. What I did was, instead of, and then I started kind of wondering, if I swap carbs completely, I don't know how that other carb's needle is set. So it may not be tuned right, because I know when I first did this, I had this thing tuned for glow, and it was right there. So that made the conversion to diesel much easier, because then it basically only meant that all I needed to really do was adjust the compression to get it to run right, and maybe a couple little tweaks here on the needle. So I started looking at the 40FP carb and the 20FP carb, and I took the barrel out, and lo and behold, the barrels are the same size, diameter wise. The opening obviously isn't. So what I've got here is I've actually got my 40FP carb with the barrel of the 20 carb in here. So it's actually got, even though this opening here is still a little bit larger, it's still a 40 carb, the opening going in and allowing air in to mix with the fuel is actually the 20. So this is also something that I'm going to be doing too, and I still have the Super Tiger S3000 engine bolted to my test stand, so that's probably going to be the first thing I do. And since I'll be using diesel fuel, maybe this will be the second thing I do, I don't know. But to go along with that Super Tiger engine, I actually went ahead and bought another entire new fuel tank. That's a little bit larger because I figure that's a large engine. It's going to need a little bit larger tank anyway. And some new tubing. So, those are the three things that I'm showing in this combo video, and hopefully you'll stay tuned and watch the results of all of these things in the next few weeks. So, thank you for watching.